Imagine you're already doing $14 million in sales, but then you add $226,000 per month in additional revenue without increasing ad spend. Well, that's exactly what we did for this affordable sunglasses brand, purely from organic search traffic, whilst recovering the terrible job that the previous SEO agency did. Last month alone, they added an additional $266,000 in organic search revenue, a $2.77 CPA, which is insanely low, which equaled a 29x ROI. Imagine you were getting 29 ROAS, right? That's the equivalent here, which is absolutely nuts, all from SEO. Here's exactly how we did it, step by step. So as you can see inside of here, we're inside of Ahrefs, our SEO tool. And really what you can see on here is this huge decline in traffic over here, right? They were using, the previous SEO agency were using insanely targeted anchor text. They were also using PBNs on this site as well, which is an absolute no-no. And you can basically see that over time, like the number of keywords overall just like declined massively. And the number of keywords in positions 1 to 3 declined a good old fair amount as well as. So we took this client on around end of January, start of February, so around here, and we can basically see that this is like the trough of the traffic. And if we left it how it was going, this absolutely would have continued. And we basically, one of the first things that we went in and did was a full disavow of all of these links. Like the previous SEO agency had so many PBN links. PBN is basically a private blog network. It's essentially where an SEO agency completely cheaps out. They basically own all of these, a big network of blogs, right? That's why it's called a private blog network. And then they link out to all of their clients' websites. And it is like the most obvious thing to Google in the world. And Google does not want you doing this. Google actively has a team that goes out and tries to find these private blog networks and de-index them. And the issue with that is if they're linking out to all of their clients' websites from this whole network of websites that they own, and all of those get de-indexed, it's like cutting all the legs off a chair, right? All of a sudden you're going to drop. And basically all of their clients' websites will just absolutely tank. And it is extremely difficult to recover that. And it is like one of the highest risk things possible to do in SEO, but they do it because it fattens the profit margin. It's very cost effective to own all those different websites, but it's extremely risky. So we absolutely do not want to take that risk. We don't take that risk on our own websites. We don't take that risk on our clients' websites. And by the way, we have built, scaled, and sold 17 different brands at this point internally, and then we started an SEO agency, right? We have not done it the other way around like a lot of other SEO agencies who think, oh, this is a great business model, let's do it that way and then start it. We've done it the other way around. We actively rank our own brands still. We have our own e-commerce brands that we are heavily invested into. So we use our same team for our clients, which is why we're so effective overall. Anyway, I digress. So we're going back to this. Basically, this is on a big downward trend overall since they started. We had to go in and basically, disavow a whole bunch of links. Essentially what that is us going through every single link one by one and working out, is that having a benefit to the website, or is it dragging it down, or is it just doing nothing? Is it just a waste of space? We then go through and create that entire list, submit that via Google Search Console, and that essentially says to Google, hey, these websites are nothing to do with us. Please remove the association. And really that's how you can help a website recover that has had this kind of link building, especially around here. So they were dropping hard for a whole bunch of different keywords, which I'll show you in a second. And then we've managed to recover this out up here, and then they're starting to peel off because it's coming to the end of the season. Okay, so the next part that I want to show you on here is basically the loss of all of these links. So this is exactly what we were dealing with. Look at all the time frames around here. This is exactly when we were then trying to take things over, and when the previous SEO agency came in and just started destroying everything. As you can see on here, like sunglasses for men, 23,000 searches per month. They were 9th. So that was definitely a position that we could have capitalized on and brought them up to the top 3. Lost position. Affordable sunglasses, second to lost, right? 7th to 22nd, second to 30th, you know, and some of these keywords aren't huge, but there's a bunch on here, like just losing positions left, right, and center overall. So this is really what we were struggling with, you know, bringing this brand on, like trying to recover a brand out of this trough is very, very tricky, but we were absolutely able to achieve it, which is awesome. And what we can basically see as the results of the fruits of this labor overall is just like a nice sea of green. And you can see on here in terms of when these were last updated and when these were starting to jump up as of late, which is awesome. So it was essentially over time, as we saw on that initial graph, it's like starting to creep up as soon as we're starting to work on it. So they're now at $226,000 in organic search revenue. And each month before that, they were increasing it and increasing and increasing. So really, this is like the results of things. And what you can basically see on here is the T and the C. These are basically transactional and commercial intent keywords. As in, if someone's typing in motorcycle sunglasses, the likelihood is that they want to buy sunglasses whilst riding a motorcycle. Okay, it's not like it's a informational based keyword that's like a question, like should I wear sunglasses whilst riding a motorcycle? That doesn't necessarily result in a sale. And a lot of SEO agencies love to have their biggest focus on blog content. And I'm talking like 80-90% of their focus, just pumping out as many articles as possible, covering off all these different questions. And while that is a great strategy, that is like 30% or less of our focus. Because at the end of the day, we want to drive as much traffic, as much revenue, and the fastest ROI for the client in the shortest period of time. And that's exactly why we focus on commercial and transactional intent keywords first, especially in the first 90 days. We want to absolutely like rock your world from that point of view in a positive way, right? We want to exceed expectations, and that's really what we do by focusing on these ones in the short term, and then having the blog articles and blog content as more of a secondary side of thing, which works fantastically well. Okay, and to show you these numbers in real time, this is exactly what our SEO dashboard looks like. We've basically spent 4.5 months with the co-founders at Triple Whale to build out this dashboard that accurately tracks all of our SEO KPIs overall, which is absolutely fantastic. We are the only SEO agency that can actually track everything fully in detail. And we rely on this for our reporting every single Friday. So you can see on here, like last month, you know, like look at the results on here. This whole dashboard is purely pulling from organic search. So it's only pulling from organic search for Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, MSN, and that is pretty much it. So you can see on here, $226,000 in organic search revenue, excellent net profit overall, $2.77 CPA. Where else can you get to under $3 cost per acquisition, right? With nearly a 30x ROI, which is absolutely insane, right? And a 12.6% organic search conversion rate. And the reason why organic search converts a lot higher is because people are searching directly for the product that they actually want to purchase, right? Which is why the conversion rate is so much higher. In addition to that, a lot of people still scroll past the top Google ad section because people are like, well, they've paid to be there. We want to go to the ones that Google actually, like, we trust that Google has put them there because they've earned that placement. And that's exactly what we focus on here. And really a lot of this site came down to digital PR features, so being published in big publications, doing link building to specific pages that we really wanted to boost up, including a lot of focus on the homepage, re-optimizing those critical pages in terms of mainly collection pages for this brand specifically, and really creating other content like to build up that topical relevance as well as. So that has resulted in some fantastic sales overall for this brand. So you can see on here the Rosie, The return on SEO investment, this is a term that we've coined, very similar to ROAS for paid ads. So the ROSI on here of nearly 30x. So essentially that's a 30x ROI on the cash that they've invested into SEO for that specific month, right? Which is absolutely nuts. Like, look at this MER ratio on here. The AI-based revenue, this is actually significantly higher. This is being fixed in the dashboard as we speak. So this is going to be fully updated as well. In addition to this, the AI search aspect of all of this is such a big focus of the agency right now. It is so exciting, and we're building an entire dashboard with Triple Whale right now that tracks things like ChatGPT, Perplexity, traffic, so we can see exactly like all of these stats, but also the landing page where people are coming in from ChatGPT as an example, the number of sessions, the bounce rate, the conversion rate, the pixel order value, number of orders, all of that good stuff. So we can really start to get very, very, very granular data in terms of that. And now we can then start to track that against where the positions are inside of ChatGPT and the likes of AI search. The other side of things I really want to highlight, especially with this brand, and this is very common among most of our clients, and it's always quite a nice surprise, and that is on here. So we can see these are the different touch points. Okay, so for example, if it's just one channel on its own, that essentially means that someone has literally Googled that exact product that they want to buy. They've had no other touch points, and then they've just straight up purchased. So last month they had almost 700 purchases that came directly from a Google search straight to purchase, which is absolutely fantastic. Now these guys are spending a significant amount of revenue on meta ads, and usually the perception is that if you're spending a lot on meta ads, ultimately a lot of people are going to be clicking on an ad or seeing an ad, then they're going to be going to Google, they're going to be Googling the brand or the product, and then obviously purchasing from that. But what we found, and what we're now able to prove using the Triple Whale data, is that because we're going after commercial and transactional intent keywords, that there's a significant number of people who are literally Googling the product and then purchasing, which is now what we can prove overall, which is fantastic. We can see the next one down on here is that someone is searching or clicking organically. Then at some point they're clicking on a Google ad, then they're purchasing, vice versa on here. So clicking on a Google ad, then going to organic search. And then all the way down here is the first one that's meta and then a Google search, right? A much lower percentage overall. What we can basically see on here is a comparison of SEO versus paid, which I absolutely love. So we can see the average order value for this particular client is slightly less than with paid. Usually it is more, but the reason for this potentially is that they are running a specific landing page with certain bundles or discounts directly for paid traffic. But we can basically see, look at the conversion rate difference on here, almost a 10% conversion rate difference, which is absolutely nuts. Lifetime value is slightly higher, but really the other big part is the CPA. Like, look at this, $55 CPA on paid versus $2.77 on organic search, right? Which is absolutely nuts. Very, very scalable at this point. So really this client can afford to roll more cash back into SEO, and we can focus on a bigger portion of their website because they have around 500 SKUs. There is so many different categories and collections on Shopify that we can go after, and we can really start to rank those ones up a lot higher as well. If you're a 7, 8, or 9-figure e-commerce brand and you want to scale with organic search and AI search, click the link below in the bio, book a call with myself. We'll run through exactly, what we can do from an AI and SEO perspective. We can then run through and build out a 1-year strategy. If that looks like a good thing to go ahead with, we can then execute on that and bring you guys success. So click the link below, book a call with myself, and we'll go from there. Appreciate you watching the video.